The local action group SAVUTO, better known as GAL, was born in 2009 as a mixed consortium company with the aim to propose a valid development plan to the region of Calabria, which would allow the area to use leader funds. The philosophy behind the leader method: utilization of local resources, consultation, basic planning, integration, in which GAL SAVUTO has been the main leader in the development of the rural area, by carefully evaluating the financial and programming needs of the area.
Quando è nato la GAL SAVUTO tanto l'entusiasmo di questo territorio.
When GAL SAVUTO was founded, there was so much excitement in the whole territory, because after being funded by the region of Calabria and the European community, we could finally expose this territory and bring to light its hidden side. We wanted to spark momentum, and maybe we succeeded.
Noi volevamo portare alla luce, volevamo dare veramente uno slancio, forse ci siamo riusciti. Adesso siamo a fine programmazione, il 31/12/2015.
Now we are at the end of our program, which will be on December 31st, 2015. We are presently preparing for a future program for the next project. GAL SAVUTO is targeted towards small companies in our land. Our young people believe in us, recognize our work, and have therefore made personal financial investments in order to set up multiple activities. This territory wants to grow. It does not want to lag behind in comparison to other territories.
Un territorio che vuole crescere, che non vuole essere il fanalino di coda, ma vuole essere alla pari, perché abbiamo tutte le caratteristiche per esserlo.
The SAVUTO Valley is deeply tied to the river from which it takes its name, a rugged and generous land, made up of different pathways, flat or winding, from which it emerges almost by magic, flowing by ancient historical villages that can be traced back to hundreds or thousands of years. In one of the Laudi, Gabriele D'Annunzio recalls the rough paths of SAVUTO, which in 1271 caused the death of Isabella of Aragon, calling it the Evil Ford. Over the centuries, the river has played an important role for all 20 municipalities, which are now part of GAL. And although the SAVUTO River runs through only 11 of these towns, water is found in the entire valley, where many streams, large or small, flow into the river.
Intorno al fiume e alla sua storia si sono costruite non solo appunto leggende che tutti conosciamo, legate ai ponti e legate appunto anche alle varie vicissitudini storiche che questi ponti e questo fiume hanno vissuto.
Surrounding the river and its history are many legends that we all know have been told relating to bridges and various historical events. From a production point of view, we can say that everything in these 20 towns revolves around the river. Agriculture as well as the mills, which have been of great importance in past centuries. All this was extremely important for local artisans. The effort that must be carried out now is to bind these new productive activities and other innovations to market demands not only in Italy but also internationally. We believe that GAL has and must continue to have the goal to bring out traditions and professional abilities of all the inhabitants of the area, especially those in productive sectors, to provide training regarding labor markets and demands. This for new segments which will open not only in Italy but also all over the world. This includes not only agricultural productions such as wine, potatoes, chestnuts, and figs from the southern part of the SAVUTO area, but also handicrafts, commercial, and integration. The efforts needed are GAL's objectives.
Sia per quanto riguarda le produzioni artigianali c'è bisogno di uno sforzo commerciale, di uno sforzo di integrazione che è proprio l'obiettivo del GAL.
A land of many contrasts, characterized by a remarkable variety of areas, ranging from the heights of about 1,300 meters, typical of Sila, down to sea level. Actually, the diversity of the area and climate over the centuries favored the growth of numerous and diversified crops and livestock. Man's ingenuity and hard work did the rest. And here is the production of a number of local products that tell of the land that produced them, which is a sample of the area and demonstrate its characteristics. Gal wanted to network the many excellent products and be able to give a concise and effective representation of the territory, which is not only made up of nature, history, and culture, but also of agriculture, industry, and handicrafts. To make sure that the goal becomes a system, it is strongly expanded outward. We begin a journey through the 20 towns which are part of Gal Savuto. We begin our itinerary with Aprigliano, located 700 meters above sea level. It has 8 villages and it is one of the largest towns in Sila. From the historic center of Aprigliano and over a scenic winding road, you can reach a really high altitude and find several typical mountain villages. And it is here, in Spineto, at 1,360 meters above sea level, that the Savuto River is born. Here, in recent years, many special companies and farms were set up, thanks to a favorable climate and clean air.
La nostra azienda nasce negli anni 70 e nasce come produzione di patate e di seminativo.
Our company was founded in the 70s as a potato plantation and arable land. In 1998, we decided to change crop. Since we are in an area suitable for planting fruit, such as blackberries, strawberries, raspberry, white currants, black, red, and blueberries, we decided to cultivate and produce them chemically untreated, and using them to produce jams and jellies which are suitable to be served with cheese, and also to produce candy, without preservatives or coloring. The Savuto Valley is a land of ancient history where the main element is water, not only that of the river, but also of the lakes, which, over the years, many companies were set up. And the authenticity of their products is a trademark of the area from which they originate and were produced.
La nostra azienda è un'azienda a conduzione familiare, nata una decina d'anni fa.
Our company is family-owned and was set up about 10 years ago. My wife and I run the company with some seasonal workers that come to help us. The company was founded in this area which produces the crops that you can see here on the table. All products, such as meat and sauces, are bred and grown here. This guarantees excellent quality.
Il frutto d'eccellenza perché solo questo territorio può dare questi valori ai prodotti. I nostri ospiti si possono fermare.
Our guests can also stay for the night and visit our farm, especially in periods when the crops are at their peak.
Le culture sono nel fiore della loro produzione, diciamo.
Through a typical mountain road, we reach Parenti, a small agricultural town surrounded by chestnut and oak trees, in the heart of the Savuto Valley. Parenti is well known for its excellent local gastronomy, the potato, a high-quality product thanks to its organoleptic characteristics of the soil and to a favorable climate. The potato is part of Parenti's history, and every year in the middle of the summer there is a festival that attracts thousands of tourists and visitors. Going down to about 500 meters above sea level, there is Balzata, where we can admire the waterfalls of Canavino. It is not only interesting for a naturalistic point of view, but also for its historical importance. On this stretch of the river, in fact, we find what remains of an ancient bridge of the 16th century, known as the Roman Isca. A few hundred meters from here is the renowned company Casarecci Calabria, which, starting from raw materials that once supported only townfolk and their families, has managed to create exquisite and refined delicacies that are exported all over the world.
La nostra azienda è nata nel 1998 da un'idea mia e di mio fratello.
Our company was founded in 1998 by myself and my brother. This is an area where once the preserves were made at home, so we had the idea of building a small laboratory to keep the tradition and make preserves by buying products strictly cultivated in this area.
Anche grazie al GAL abbiamo realizzato una nuova struttura.
Over the years, thanks to GAL SAVUTO, we have built a new structure and purchased new equipment. Today we have workers, employees, and representatives all over the national territory. Our products are pickles, preserves made from tomatoes, eggplant, zucchini, chili peppers, which are the specialty of the area. The products we have are known both nationally and internationally. For about a year, we have been on international markets in America, United Arab Emirates, Japan, and in some parts of Europe, where we try to enhance recognition of Calabrian products, but mostly the products of SAVUTO.
Stiamo cercando un po' l'America, gli Emirati Arabi, il Giappone, un po' tutta l'Europa, e cerchiamo di valorizzare il prodotto che è calabrese, ma soprattutto il prodotto del Savuto.
Our journey continues down to the valley, and here is Rogliano, with a population of 6,000. It is the largest town in the Savuto area. Its history is represented by the noble palaces, churches, and prestigious museum of religious art. Rogliano is also famous for its excellent bread, called the undisputed prince of the table, which in the district of Cuti, ancient tradition can be found thanks to the love and dedication of Pina and Antonio.
L'azienda nasce nel lontano 85 volendo riprendere l'antica tradizione che era quella di fare il pane con il lievito madre.
The company was founded in 1985 to continue the old tradition of making bread with basic yeast. Every house and small farm in Cuti once had a wood oven. The quality of this bread is based on the time needed to rise. The dough has to rise in a warm environment, and also the oven has specific requirements. We say that the bricks turn white when the oven is ready to bake the bread. Tradition only uses local ingredients. Typical is our olive bread, because in the Savuto area there are many olive groves, so with the flour and yeast you add olives. Another typical product is the focaccia with oregano, which is made with bread dough crushed and brushed with extra virgin olive oil and oregano. The bread made in Cuti is sold throughout Italy.
Il profumo e il buon gusto del pane di Cuti viene degustato anche nel resto dell'Italia.
The Savuto Valley also stands out for its religious art and architectural expressions, found in the many places of worship. Overlooking the valley on top of Mount Tirone stands the shrine of Santa Liberata. We are in San Stefano di Rogliano, a town that, among other things, is rich in folk traditions, especially during the Christmas season. The sanctuary each year attracts thousands of pilgrims. According to tradition, it was built in the place where a bone of San Liberata's left arm was found. Not far from here is Mancone, a village of the nearby Sila area. It is part of the local farmhouses in Cosenza and owes its origin to the political and economic changes of the capital city. The villages around the city were a safe place during the Saracen raids, 975-986, that had become more and more frequent. Violence and destruction that swept over the city also had brought many noble families to seek refuge in small villages. Among these families was that of John Mangoni, who took refuge where he had possessions, and from that moment it became a full-fledged village that took the name of Mancone. The village has an excellent geographical location and a beautiful historic center with noble palaces and ancient churches. Mancone is now known in the world thanks to its typical products and to a family whom, with great love and creativity, had the idea of turning vegetables that are typical of the area into preserved food to be consumed all year round.
Calabria Food nasce nel 1979 per volontà dei fratelli Crispino.
The company was founded in 1979 by the Crispino brothers. The idea was to make use of these excellent Calabrian products throughout the year. This has pushed the company to better preserve agricultural products and make them more viable to be marketed internationally. We export, in fact, to Australia, Canada, America, England, Germany, and Brazil. We are now working towards new markets such as Russia and Japan. Our products use the same traditional SAVUTO method with recipes handed down from generation to generation, and we use raw materials which are cultivated in the SAVUTO area.
Ricette che vengono tramandate di generazione in generazione e con materie prime per lo più riconducibili all'agricoltura che si pratica nel nostro territorio.
A few kilometers from Mancone, we can reach another small town that is part of the Cosenza area called Figline Vegliaturo. Tradition tells us that the surrounding village originated because Cosenza was attacked by the Saracens during the 10th century, but other historical sources, the founding of Figline Vegliaturo, like other areas between 400 and 800 meters above the sea level, was due to its climatic condition, which allowed the establishment of stable residential areas for agricultural and especially for breeding cattle and livestock. It was already inhabited even before the Roman Empire. David Andreotti, historian and author of History of the Cosentini, writes, "It is certain that Figline was not established due to the Cosentini people attempting to escape the Saracen invasion. The home of Thomas Aceti, which Calabria owes him a lot for his notes on the work of Barrio. Truly, from the ruins of the old Gothic images and from the ancient coins, the origin of Figline is not year 975. A road at times rugged and treacherous and an unspoiled nature will take us to Colosimi, a charming place at about 900 meters above sea level. It is surrounded by a thick and dense vegetation. Its origins are uncertain, but surely was founded as an agricultural center. Still today, it is in fact a group of small villages that make up the 11 districts of the town. Thanks to its dry and cool climate, even in summer, the Colosimi Menotti sausage processing plant was set up and still maintains ancient traditions of pork processing.
Il salumificio Menotti nasce nel 1967 da mio padre.
The sausage processing plant was founded in 1967 by my father. Then in 2002 we expanded. The focus of our factory has been on quality. We have two production lines, the traditional line and the DOP line. The traditional line is gluten-free with no dairy protein derivatives. Skinned Calabrian chili peppers, however, are part of the traditional line. The DOP line, instead, is only pigs born and raised in Calabria. We do business both in Calabria and throughout Italy, and we are focusing on exports. In addition to employees, the company is run by our family. My mother, my brother, and my sister and I are all present during all phases of production. Our supervision guarantees the quality of our product. Along with my brother and sister, we are evaluating a new project regarding cold cuts. Besides DOP and the traditional lines, we also added the Black Pig of Calabria.
A few kilometers away from Colosimi is Bianghi, a very interesting historical town, especially for the Scroll Museum, which contains precious documents from a private collection of the Acatatis family. The last town, located in the southern part of the province of Cosenza, is a small town called Panettieri, well known for its live nativity scene every year during the Christmas holidays in this historical center. Panettieri also has an old tradition of cheese, unchanged over the centuries thanks to the tenacity and commitment of some entrepreneurs.
The company has been handed down from my father. Since 2005, we have been producing goat cheese because it is more digestible, leaner, lighter, and low in cholesterol. I have two children who are agronomists, working in the company, and they help us to improve the quality of our cheeses. Our main concern has always been on quality and not quantity. Our company is a dairy farm. Everything is homemade, that is from producer to consumer. We are also a selling point for the Goldiretti Friendly campaign.
Facciamo direttamente dal produttore al consumatore e siamo anche come punto campagna amica con la Goldiretti.
Nearby is the town of Pedivigliano. Besides offering a splendid view of the Tyrrhenian Sea, visitors are welcomed in a village where time seems to stand still and where life is marked by the rhythms of nature. Our journey continues to Scigliano, one of the most beautiful villages in the territory of Savuto. In the Middle Ages, the most important university of the Kingdom of Naples was located here, and its ancient glory can still be admired in palaces and valuable works of art found in many churches. Of particular interest is the Church of St. Joseph's, where valuable works of art are kept, including the main altar, which is the Gothic style, and along with other important works of art from the monastery of Corazzo. In Scigliano, we find many folk traditions, such as the nativity scene at Christmas, which attracts numerous visitors. Through a small road just outside the town, we can reach the main attraction of the whole territory, the Roman Bridge, also known as Hannibal or San Angelo Bridge, which was part of Via Pompilia, built by the Tiberius Gracchus, which connected Rome to Reggio Calabria. Built between 131 and 121 BC, it is one of the oldest bridges in Italy, together with the Tiber Island Bridge. The charming dive into the history of Savuto Valley continues up to Marzi, a small village made of alleys, public squares, palaces, and places of worship. Marzi is also the land of the Savuto Dock wine, a prestigious award received by the European Union in 1975. A major wine company is Colocino Wines, whose vineyards give wines a distinctive taste and a reminder of the past.
La nostra azienda è nata in realtà quando io non ero nato, è nata nel 1968.
Our company was actually founded before I was born in 1968. My father, who was a general practitioner in the town of Rogliano, had a passion for wine. He worked as a doctor but loved making wine. As a child, I always followed him around. His passion was passed on to me and my sister. He produced a genuine homemade wine with typical grapes of Savuto. In 1975, Mario Soldati wrote about our wine in his first guide, distributed in Italy and around the world. Soldati wrote, "Savuto wine is in Cosenza like Barolo is in Cuneo." We started with 1 acre of vineyard and 2,000 bottles. Today we produce 150,000 bottles as we have 20 acres of vineyards and export 90% of our wines abroad. The countries that we are mostly interested to market in are Japan, China, England, Canada, and all of Europe.
Il Giappone, la Cina, l'Inghilterra, ultimamente stiamo avendo un boom nell'Inghilterra, il Canada e tutta l'Europa.
Another prestigious winery founded in 2004 is Cantine Antiche Vigne, specialized in the production of wine DOC, with grapes from the area like the sweet Magliocco, the Greek Black, di Pecorello and Malvasia grapes.
La mia azienda è nata nel 2004 con l'obiettivo di andare a riprendere le radici proprio del Savuto.
We were born as a company in 2004. The company currently has 15 acres of vineyards and was actually born with the aim to restore the ancient vineyards of Savuto. All our wines, in fact, are made with local grapes such as Magliocco, which is sweet and makes up 80% of our wines. We produce 5 types of wines, 3 red, a white and a rosé. All of them, but the white one, are made with Magliocco grapes because we wanted to strengthen our brand and our territory, Savuto. In the last 3 years, our target markets have been abroad: Germany, France, Switzerland, Spain, and England. We have a selection of customers who follow us throughout the year and are aware of the new vintages. Therefore, are careful about purchasing every year. They come to visit us, and this allows us to make good sales.
Ci vengono a visitare e ovviamente ci fanno anche dei buoni numeri.
A short distance from Marzi is located the oldest town in the Savuto Valley, Carpanzano, a small village with less than 300 inhabitants. The 17th century churches and palaces contain numerous treasures of art. Noteworthy is the mantle Charles V, which according to historical sources was donated by the king himself to the community of Carpanzano as a token of appreciation for welcoming him in their own town. Our route continues along the western slope of the Savuto Valley, in a sequence of natural landscapes and historical artistic views, sometimes unexpected. Here is Balsito, with picturesque streets and the beautiful church of San Giovanni Battista, which has precious works of art. Worth visiting is the Museum of Ancient Crafts, which tells about the long and hard work of the local craftsmen. Our route continues up to Malito, where walking along the narrow streets of the old town, you can discover ancient doorways and railings in wrought iron, work of local craftsmen. Famous for its architecture and stone decoration is Altilia, whose historic center is filled with windows, balconies, and entrances of houses, adorned with magnificent stone frames, also the work of local artisans. Altilia was once famous for its stone quarries, which are now in use, although it is worth visiting the site for its heartbreaking beauty. The town is known for the ancient art of stone cutting, which continues today thanks to some master craftsmen who, with their works, have handed down this trade that is found in most of the Savuto area.
La mia attività è nata dal contesto in cui vivo.
My business was born out of the environment in which I live. Altilia is a town with a great tradition of stone cutting, which allowed me to cultivate this passion. Over the years, I have improved my skills, rediscovering the ancient tradition of the stonecutters of Altilia, especially those in sacred art, working mainly for churches and for the Curia. Some altars which I have worked on can be found in churches of Altilia, Maione, Gerisano, and Figline.
Dagli altari di Altilia, della chiesa di Altilia, quella di Maione, quella di Gerisano, quella di Figline Vegliatura.
A few kilometers away from Altilia lies Grimaldi, a town surrounded by lush greenery. Its historic center is well kept, a very good example of how an ancient village can be improved. But in the Savuto area, there's also Paterno Calabro, which represents spirituality in Calabria. Paterno Calabro, a favorite place of St. Francis of Paola, who lived here 9 years, making an infinitive number of marvels and miracles. Vibrant testimony of the greatness of this saint are still visible, like the huge architrave that, despite being broken into several parts, does not fall. According to tradition, it was Francis himself that lifted. And yet another testimony, a fountain from which water flows, known as miraculous. It was believed that this water healed a man from Torano who had leprosy and a worker from Palermo. Paterno Calabro also has a food and wine culture with recipes and flavors of the past, handed down from generation to generation.
Il nostro ristorante nasce a Paterno Calabro, in collina, all'ombra del santuario di San Francesco.
Our restaurant is located in the hills of Paterno Calabro, near the shrine of St. Francis of Paola. We try to please our guests with dishes typical not only of Paterno, but also of the Savuto Valley. Among the starters, Much requested is the soppressato, typical of Paterno, made with no additional hot pepper. Among the main courses are the tagliatelle with porcini mushrooms found in Paterno under chestnut trees. And then we have noodles and chickpeas. And what is unique about this dish is that the pasta is made with eggs. In Paterno, every family has chickens, and they used eggs to make pasta. We always have these delicacies that we offer our guests, cooked according to old traditional recipes and raw materials from the area.
Secondo le antiche ricette dei nostri nonni, con le materie prime della zona a chilometro zero.
La nostra azienda nasce nel 2008 come coltivazione di ortaggi in pieno campo e allevamento di maiali allo stato brado.
Our company was founded in 2008 as a vegetable enterprise and a pig farm. The following years we struggled with the problem of product marketing. With the help of Gal SAVUTO, in 2012, we opened this meat store, and together with the breeding of pigs, we are able to do direct sale of our meat. From 2012 to now, we have found great success with the direct sale of our product. People have rediscovered the taste of the meat that was lost, and now my company has 5 working units and 10 acres of land, and we have expanded to 27. And we still continue the cultivation of organic vegetables and livestock.
Continuiamo la coltivazione degli ortaggi sul biologico e l'allevamento del maiale sul biologico stesso.
Our journey continues to Di Pignano, where you can still find the old forge. A stroll through the picturesque streets of the old town offers visitors beautiful views and artistic charm, with well-cared palaces and places of worship that hold prestigious works of art. Leaving Di Pignano, and after a brief stop in the town of Laurignano, where we can visit the majestic church of the Madonna della Catena, we end our journey in Carolei. A territory full of canyons covered out of 2 rivers that cross the valleys, sets up for the valuable artistic heritage kept in churches. Carolei is also known as the town that gave birth to Alfonso Rendano, whose music still seems to echo among the timeless atmosphere of this charming town. This ends our journey through the Savuto Valley, a precious treasure of myths and history, knowledge, taste, and culture. Many realities firmly anchored to traditions, where nature is the absolute protagonist and hospitality is a sacred duty handed down from the great civilizations that have lived here in the past. Colors and extraordinary sensations, the charm of the old stories, the grandeur of beautiful works of art, the changing itineraries that reveal at every corner small and large jewels still to be discovered. A magnificent land with strong contrast, sometimes wild and unexplored, sometimes mythical and mysterious, but always wonderfully charming. The custodian of such beauty is the Savuto River, by communication and conquest between the Tyrrhenian and Sila, which with the gurgling of its waters, often impetuous, seems to protect the priceless heritage kept in its valley.